Lee's meeting.
Hold on a second. Let me get this out of the way. Fucking. I just cut my fingernail, so I can't open anything.
That's not a huggy, dude. You shouldn't do that with your teeth.
Oh God, little hugs are great. And yes, that was the only way you could open them.
That's the best way.
Unless you could like jam a straw in there. That was the only other way to do it. So you're either like, like going into vampire mode or performing a tracheotomy just to get a fucking drink.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, it's BigPapaGrump. Welcome to the Board Doom podcast. We did do one for Extreme Rules, right? No, we didn't because we were going.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it was so long ago. But yeah, a lot's happened. First of all, we're gonna get to like all the other stuff, but I figure we might as well tackle Full Gear first. And I'm only rolling with so far they've only announced 11 matches, so that's what we're gonna go with. The other 9 or 10 that they're gonna announce on Saturday morning, I'm not worried about. So
11 already. Damn, I thought I only had 8. Okay,
no, here we go. We got Mox versus MJF, the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory, Jericho, Sammy, Danielson, Claudio for the Ring of Honor title. Oh yeah, the Acclaim, that's for the tag titles, and of course Mox is for the AEW title. Jungle Boy versus Dinosaurus Rex. The interim AEW Women's Championship with Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
The TNT title match with Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill. Sting and Darby Allin versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Reason.
Yeah, okay. I was making sure I was the only one that wasn't like
Yeah. Britt versus Saraya, and we're gonna get to the biggest double turn of the week. The Death Triangle versus the Elite. Wardlow versus Hobbs versus Samoa Joe for the TNT title, and then the end of the Eliminator tournament thing, the triple threat with Brian Cage, Ethan Page, and the winner of Lance Archer versus Ricky Starks, that's going to be on Rampage. So we'll add that. Like, I'll send the thing out. Okay, everybody, here's this match. Who you got? And then whatever. Because at that point, I will be desperately trying to finish the video mode. So,
all right. So where do you want to start, man? What do you want to talk about?
I don't.
What are you most excited for?
I don't really want to go match by match because that's just going to take forever. And there's a whole lot of them that I don't really think are, I don't want to say aren't worthy of discussion, but like, for example, like Mox versus MJF, we'll start with the big one. That buildup has been weird.
It really has been. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the promos are good. I mean, besides Mox forgetting what day the pay-per-view is. But whatever.
Well, he's been saying Sundays for 10 years. So.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was funny. The internet kind of ran with it, but
of course they do.
Twitter's just run by Elon. It's just nothing but Elon's friends now. So
yeah.
Like I'm seriously thinking about, on a side note, I'm seriously thinking about just getting rid of my Twitter accounts like altogether, because
it's all the same.
Everybody that I follow, that I look at, is going to end up probably leaving, because the way Elon Musk is doing things, he slashed his workforce in half, and the people that like monitor like hate speech and all the politics stuff and all the nonsense that goes on, like the people that monitor that are all gonna either quit or get fired. So it's like craziness.
There ain't people leaving Twitter. That's where their money's at. And also too, my Twitter experience hasn't changed in one bit in the last month.
Not yet. Not yet. But
it's all the same stuff. It's just people complying. You won't see it. It's all.
We'll see.
As long as you follow your people and you're not getting duped, as long as you don't think Jamie Hayter is actually in your DMs, dude, you'll be fine. Which I know you got duped before, but
yeah. So, but anyway, so Mox MJF, like MJF's promos have been great. Typical. but it just like, that he's just going to have the firm interfere, right? It's a ruse, right?
You'd assume. But they're building up to be, all of his promos, like you said, are very face oriented. Now, granted, he's been getting cheered like crazy, but the whole, I don't want the firm's backup, fuck the firm, get them out of here. I want you at your best, this, that, whatever. Like, I'm trying to do this the right way. Like, it's MJF, something's coming.
Yes. It's like that thing, that story that was told in Natural Born Killers, where it ends with like, bitch, you knew I was a snake.
Exactly.
And that whole thing with like, the greatest trick the devil did was made you think he doesn't exist and all that. Like, he's telling you, he is flat out telling you that he's gonna like have the firm interfere. And I love, again, I know I reference Russell Talk all the time, but they keep saying, stop trying to make the firm a thing, which I'm like, yes, I like Stokely, and that's about it. Ethan Page.
I like all the guys in the firm for the most part. Like, Stokely still hasn't really, like, as far as TV goes, he had some funny stuff with Jade, but since the firm came along, like, even that whole matchup in its own was weird because Stokely's there as a mouthpiece, but MJF doesn't need a mouthpiece. But then obviously they didn't really keep him together that long. But I mean, I like the Ass Boys and Morrissey, whatever, whenever he starts wrestling, like, Morrissey's kind of a good story in wrestling, coming back from all the bullshit he went through. So it's kind of nice to him get a little love. But the
translation, he's a nice story after having to put up with Enzo for so long.
Hey, whatever. But even last night, with MJF taking out the firm, dude, that fucking Ass Boys bumping like they did from one shot. Jesus Christ, I thought they were going to go right through the ramp.
Like, the way he hit them, I thought he had the diamond ring on. The way they just died.
Yeah, they just like were obliterated on impact. But anyway, so the firm's interesting, but they still haven't done anything besides that poker chip thing. Like, they're just really, you have Ethan Page going through the tournament, but that's really about it. But
okay, I was just waiting to see if anybody else was going to add.
Well, no, I mean, if you want to go into more, I don't know how deep you want to go with Mox and MJF. I mean, I might be giving away, what I'm feeling here for Saturday, but it's what it is at this point. But I 1000% think that Regal's fucking over Moxley.
That, that's an interesting, especially considering, did you notice that none of the rest of the Blackpool Combat Club have come out to save him at all?
I mean, I have noticed that to an extent, yeah, because I mean, like, they've been kind of tied up with the JAS stuff. But the main thing that's like popping me off is, like, for the last, whenever month or so, whenever MJF and Regal have been doing these back and forths, Regal keeps talking about how he was a villain, that he's been this villain. He knows what it's like to be the villain, the villain, the villain. Regal on TV hasn't been a villain in over 15 years.
Oh, if Regal takes the villain moniker, I can wear all my Skrull shirts again.
We still know. We know. You got to just super glue like a patch with like on it or something.
Yeah, I'll have to cover up the Villain Club stuff.
But you know what I mean? Like, a lot of this generation that watch it, like, anybody probably under 25, 20 maybe, like Junior over here, he does not remember Regal being a villain. For the most part, like, a lot of this generation has no idea what they're talking about with William Regal being a villain.
You remember him with Tajiri and onward.
Maybe that's the last you go, but then, yeah, because Regal with the knucks and stuff like that, the power of the punch, but then, like, even like a little bit after that, it turned into straight comedic stuff with Vince and the Kick My Ass Club and this and that. And that's what, your mid 2000. That might be early as 03 or 04. I don't remember exactly, but like, that's almost 20 years of you not being a villain, but all of a sudden you want to push this villainry thing in there. And then just like how he's the one kind of pushing MJF to do this and be on the good side. But like, I don't know. It just doesn't add up. So, I mean, to me, that seems like it's going to be, I know you said about maybe the double turn of the century here coming up. Another match, but I mean, I 100% could see Regal fucking over Moxley. And then as far as the Blackpool Combat Club goes, like how these factions in AEW run, they just kind of like do their own thing, which a lot of them are. But then you got the ROH championship match. So you could get, Claudio and Bryanson are going to go after each other at some point in the match. They're more likely to wrestle each other than Jericho and Sammy. So maybe you have some dissension in that, whatever the fuck Wheeler Yuta at 1 week. You know what I mean? So like they can all kind of do whatever.
The whole thing with with the Combat Club was always, forged by combat, bleed together type stuff. So they're never gonna just not wrestle. If they're in a match against each other, they're not gonna hold back. That's always been their thing.
Exactly. Which is fatal 4-way just seems primed that maybe Jericho or Sammy can, pull something out with them two going at it as much as they do. Because I really do not foresee Sammy and Jericho going at it super heavy in that match. Maybe something where like Jericho or Sammy goes for a pinfall and Jericho gets a little upset about it, but I don't see them going full blows like something Claudio and Brian would do.
That's true.
So, moving on a little bit, like I don't really want to focus too much on like the Acclaimed versus Swerve and Our Glory. That's just going to be a good match.
Yeah, and we've seen that. We've done.
But they've done it. This is the one feud where they've done a really good job of like, okay, we're seeing this match again, but they've made me care.
It's nice it's nice that the Acclaim's finally over as much as they are, and Swerve more so than Keith Lee is really diving into that villainry role. But this real quick, like, we've had a lot of, we've been very spoiled with wrestling these last couple of years. Like just obviously the competition, breeds a better product with AEW and WWE. We've had all these major comebacks. We're going to see Saraya again wrestle on, come back and wrestle this Saturday night. But my God, you want to talk about a story. A major company finally signed one of the biggest wrestlers in the world in Captain Insano. Captain Insano hasn't wrestled in over 20 years, and he finally makes a debut on AEW. That's one of that's a headliner right there. All these comebacks over the years. You finally saw Sting go to WWE, this and that. AJ Styles go to WWE. The AEW guys bringing over everybody. AEW got Captain fucking Insano. That's
okay. For Junior's benefit, that was the Big Show's character that he played in The Waterboy.
I saw
that's not Big Show, dude. That's Captain Insano.
Anyway, so
hold on. If you think that's Big Show, you probably thought Ezekiel was Elias. You don't think Ezekiel's his brother, do you?
Oh no, they're twins.
All right.
The debate is which one's the older brother.
I don't think that was ever the debate. I'm just glad that storyline is dead.
Yeah, I know, I am too. But we'll get to Saraya in a minute. But I do want to kind of touch on, like, obviously, I'm rooting for Jamie Hayter because I root for Jamie Hayter in every match she's in.
Sure.
However,
pissed off.
In this case, I'm pulling for Hayter because I kind of don't want to see Toni Storm with the belt anymore.
Yeah,
like I'm just over it. I don't know if it's the interim thing or if it's just that the Toni Storm presentation can only get her so far.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like Tony's fallen into that problem that they've had for the last year where the women's title doesn't feel as important as the TBS title.
That's true.
Like Jade's really getting everybody's best shot, and this title's been fluctuating back and forth. And then again, they push the interim. And then, with tag, I don't know what the situation with Rosa, Jesus Christ.
Thunder Rosa.
I was about to say Rosa Mendez. My mind shot off there for a little bit. Yeah,
you're still thinking about back when Regal was doing comedy spots.
Yeah. So but with Thunder Rosa coming back, there's been that little bit of dissension between the two because Tony wants to take the interim title off, Thunder Rosa. So I don't know what her situation is. It seems like because of that that back and forth, Thunder and Tony would seem like a bigger match. But I'm 100% with you. I'm rooting for Jamie Hayter. I think it would be awesome to see Jamie Hayter win the belt. And then the dynamic with her and DMD goes.
And she's also another one like the Acclaimed that just got over organically. Like the crowd is behind her.
Yeah.
Not that that is ever like the reason you put the belt on someone, but you know,
for the reason you do in AEW apparently.
Oh yeah, I mean, but the Acclaimed I think earned it. You know,
100% they earned it. They've been
Yeah.
there for the whole time. You know what I mean? They've been working every arc.
There was a huge chance to do it earlier.
Yeah, they made a mistake, but they retconned it. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can't disagree with the results now. People are going absolutely bonkers. They probably sell more merch than any other AEW.
Yeah. No, I'm glad they definitely should. This is the problem with AEW. They're going to save book and have to retcon it. So you're going to see Tony Storm win, and then Hater's going to win it on fucking Rampage like 2 days later. Like that's just how AEW books. It's fucking stupid. And I hate it. Sorry.
Lately, their booking's been shaky of late. Like Tony's been panic booking because he's starting to feel the heat a little bit. But it's starting to even out. It's starting to even.
It's not bad. I mean, AEW's kind of always done that with like he wants to make every show feel special, which is cool.
Where is this? Is in New Jersey?
It's in Newark or whatever, or at the center. Yeah, I think that's Newark.
At the Izod Center, what? No, nobody's getting any food.
Yeah.
It's not even a building anymore.
One of these days, we may actually have to like take some time and just trash the Izod Center, especially since I don't think it exists anymore.
No, it doesn't.
We're going to be pissing on a grave. What?
Yeah.
And they shut the whole thing down.
Yeah, but
one thing I
know
to say, though, one thing I wanted to say that kind of adds into AEW's booking a little bit. Does it feel like to you guys because you were talking about with Jamie Hayter, how whatever crowd reactions they get, they just kind of lean into those like heel turn, face turn things? Because I feel like that kind of happened with Swerve and Keith Lee. Like they were just because they were going against the Acclaim was getting cheered. They were getting booed, even though they were both kind of faces. Acclaim was a little more heelish at the time. So they just kind of like laid into that. Now you kind of see it with Britt a little bit. With MJF, it definitely happened. Where it's like, at least they're trying to present him as a face. It just seems like whoever gets booed or cheered, they just end up eventually just start leaning that way. Well, I feel like WWE kind of just keeps going with their
trying to see if they can get it to
down the road if it makes sense. But they kind of stay the path more, where I feel like AEW just kind of falls into it.
I think Tony sees it, and I'm not thinking that like I'm speaking on behalf of Tony Khan or anything, but it seems to me like he seems to be more into the including the audience, like a little bit more, or a lot more actually.
But when I don't know, maybe it's just because of how it happened, but it's like my whole thing, like one thing that bugs the hell out of me, how many times has that AEW title changed? When Punk was in Chicago, he would just win it back. Like that shit pisses me off. And it's that stuff, like you're playing into the crowd too much. It's a fan booking a show, basically. Like, but it's not always. But
if you think about it, but before that, look at how long Jericho had the belt.
Yeah.
Look at how long Mox had the belt. Look at how long Kenny had the belt. It wasn't.
I mean, even Hangman had it for a couple months.
Yeah, but it wasn't until Hangman where you started to see it. Maybe that's where it started to hot shot a little bit. And it's not like they took it right off of Hangman, but I think they kind of realized that, okay, but he's not over as champ the way we want him to be. So then
that's right around when Punk showed up, was that Hangman era.
Well, the Punk thing, you feel like you kind of got to take it as an anomaly because you don't know what would have happened after he won the belt.
Yeah, I
I mean, obviously they have something going on, something planned, whether it was with MJF or whatever. But like that's kind of like the Punk thing's a little bit of an anomaly, but I get it because it felt weird, and then Moxley loses it and then wins it back, gets it a week later and whatever.
But if you look at it like that too, you talk about like listening to the fans. I swear to God, CM Punk got booed in Chicago. Mox was entirely.
He did against. Oh yeah, the crowd was not.
When they
that
saw
was not the same. That was definitely not the Rampage crowd. Let's put it that way.
No, when they saw he was about to get the belt back from Mox, who is probably one of your most over people in that company, they turned on him, and that was Chicago. That's never happened to him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then he went backstage and had a tantrum.
Yeah, because Chicago turned on him.
Yeah. So the other one I want to talk about.
Sorry, I'm just bitter about that.
I know.
It just would have all been better if CM Punk never came back.
I know.
Telling you guys for 8 years.
Crap, but you're right. It sounds like crap, but yeah, you're not wrong.
I've been saying it for 8 years, boys.
Hey, I didn't argue that point.
I know.
But
all right, so what's the next one you want to talk about?
I want to touch really quick on was the announcement of the Elite anticlimactic.
A little bit. I mean,
I think they should have alluded to it.
They did on social media.
But I meant just stuck with alluding to it and then had them show up. We all know it's going to be them, but let's at least try to get the reaction.
Yeah.
No. And that's fine. That would have been a good idea too. I don't know.
It's up and down, but even with AEW though, even with these surprise things they've been trying to have, the whole crowd knows it and they're chanting their names before they even come out. After.
Yeah, well, that's been going on forever. Remember, there were Jericho signs in the crowd the day Jericho debuted against The Rock. So it's one of those things.
The other thing was you heard everybody chanting Lesnar in 2012 when he wasn't even nobody. It was 10 years. So people know the internet kind of ruins that.
Yeah. Thank you, internet. I blame Elon Musk for that too.
What you said with the allude to it type thing. I mean, WWE, everybody knew it was Cody. Everybody.
Yeah, they should have done the Cody thing. But just play it. Let's just play along. Right, we all know how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And even have Neville, because he's always gonna be Neville to me. Just call them out, but have no response. But I think they made the announcement because they really want to sell as many buys as they can.
Which
so
is
it
fair.
makes sense.
But again, people still would have known and bought anyway. I don't.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think of, speaking of Neville, what do you think about the rumor that he gets attacked on Rampage and Stephen Amell fills in for him Saturday night? What do you think about that?
That's a thing.
I just made it up now, but we'll see if it catches fire.
Oh,
actually,
okay.
I think it would have been cooler if Stephen Amell replaces Ray Fenix or something. So just so that you can get him and Neville together.
I mean,
all right. Enough with that. Enough. We're not doing it.
Well, with this match though, one thing that's kind of nice about it with the suspension, and maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe this played a little bit of a factor into it with the Bucks and Kenny staying off that much. Because remember when Kenny came back, he really still wasn't in shape.
Yeah.
Now he's had, a little over a month to kind of get back into ring shape and get back because the wrestling and t-shirts thing and this and that. He was fine. He's still Kenny fucking Omega. He's the man. But you hear about the stuff, obviously, how maybe he wasn't, performing at his highest. So maybe that suspension, maybe it had a part to do with that. Because, damn well this is going to be the match of the night. As far as just straight up wrestling goes in a 6 minute, this is every fucking pay-per-view, the Bucks have the match of the night.
The Elite.
Before with Death Triangle, with Phoenix and Penta, that the magic, the chemistry is just unreal. And then you throw Pac and Kenny in there for these titles. This is going to be match of the night. So it's going to be cool. Kenny coming back and he's going to be fucking wild. The Bucks, it's going to be awesome. So.
All right. The last one I want to address is way to just go ahead and make Britt Baker a baby face out of nowhere.
Yeah.
First of all, I've got an issue, and I know it's been addressed. I have an issue with Saraya's entire reason for coming back and challenging Britt is because Britt doesn't know what it takes to carry a women's division, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Britt nailed it in her promo where she's like, I carried this company, like I'm one of the ones who carried this company through the pandemic. Who the hell are you? And it just made Soraya's entire purpose look hypocritical, or at least false and fake. And it's like, I hope Soraya's turning heel.
But here's the thing, right? And I agree, but I thought her whole thing was you were handed your spot. I had to earn it. I thought that was what it was.
Well, yeah, that was part of it. And it's like, no, but, she wasn't.
Right. But that's why I was like,
well, no, as long if you just like watch the product, if you're just like a casual fan that watches the product, you would assume that. You would assume that Britt Baker was handed her spot because she was in pretty much every main event program. She had the title forever.
I mean, they built
Rio was the first champ or whatever, but like, you know, she had the she always gets in big matches. She's always there. She's the face of the women's division. But like, you never heard of Britt Baker before AEW.
This is true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You didn't hear about what indie promotion she was wrestling for. You know, she wasn't in fucking like Evolve or something. So like that if you just as a casual watcher, you could think that.
Yeah.
Like if you don't respect all the stuff that she did and put in for it. But
if you're looking at kayfabe, I get what you mean.
Yeah, but I mean, with both of them, there's obviously they always put truth into both of what they're saying, and which has been a big, long-standing thing for AEW and WWE a little bit more lately, where they inject what perceived truth is. Whether we know it's not necessarily truth, but it's perceived because it's people's opinions online or this, that, whatever. So perceived truth, they just want to dig at it and dive into it, and like so when it comes to the WWE people. You see it all the time, you know, like Christian coming over and, you know, Jericho, this, that, whatever. They want to address that, you know, hey, we're superstars. We're this, that, whatever. We sold bigger crowds. We do this, that, whatever. And then AEW, well, we're the real wrestlers. We're the wrestlers. We're not showmen, this, that, whatever. So like they always pull from
we'll get to him.
Perceived value. You know what I mean?
Right. My biggest thing is how is all of a sudden she's cleared? Like,
I don't think it was all of a sudden. I don't think she would have came back if it wasn't all of us.
Then what the hell was WWE doing? Well, why did they not use her? That's what I'm worried about. She jumps programs and is clear. That's how it looks to me. I'm like, would they not clear?
Hey, well, you know, if you go and you Google WWE China and see the first couple things that pop up, it's very similar to Paige, and it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? But it's true, and WWE does still have a thing with that. Now, granted, you remember when they brought Paige back after that stuff, a lot of that was to promote that movie, Wrestling with My Family, with The Rock and all that other stuff. Like, they didn't really use her on screen much after that. So maybe that has something to do with it. Who knows? I don't know. Again, that's just me speculating, but they came out and said that before. That's why they don't put China in the Hall of Fame. So
I saw something with I saw something with there was an interview. It might have been on Renee's thing, but I saw something where like Paige said she almost went back to WWE if AEW didn't come with an offer. So maybe she was just looking to get out, like you said, because they didn't use her when they had her, even if she was hurt.
Yeah, and maybe, and again, you know, obviously there was a lot of people like that in WWE, which you've been all screen this at whatever, but like that women's division in WWE is stacked. It's absolutely stacked. So like you don't do they need her? No. Does AEW need her? I mean, maybe not, but if this goes off really well and Saraya shows people, you know, who the fuck she is or who the fuck she was.
There's a lot of people that we've heard released by WWE. It's like they should go to AEW that were women wrestlers because they need the women's division, because for a while it was Britt and Thunder. And then
the problem with AEW's women's division isn't the depth. It's just the utilization of them, because you've got, all right, I'm going to try to run, I'm not going to run down the list of everybody on their roster, but they've got plenty of women wrestlers. They just don't use them evenly. WWE does a much better job of evening that out some. Now, granted, theirs is still deeper, but
to counteract that, just with Saraya, not a single one of those female signings moved the needle like Saraya does.
No, that's true.
As far as a recognizable name,
that is huge. That's huge.
That's huge. I mean, look, kudos to Tony Storm and, eventually bringing in, Jamie Hayter and, all these other ones that they've been bringing in, but nobody truly moves that needle like Saraya. There's not as much intrigue in a women's wrestler as a Saraya because of everything she went through.
So, all right.
But I only have 16. You said there were 17 people?
I think. Okay, here. I'll go over my list. Okay. This is in response to something that they said on Wrestle Talk. It was a throwaway line that I think Lori Blake said that Triple H had brought back 16 former stars that Vince had either let go or released or whatever. Like Triple H going back and going to all the hobby shops to get all the toys that his dad pawned off. And it's up to it would be 17 now because that was right before Mia Yim came back. So we have so far, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I got Bray, Karrion Kross, Scarlett, Mia Yim, Braun Strowman, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, Dakota Kai, Johnny Wrestling, Candice LeRae, B-Fab, Top Dollar, Ashante, Sarah Logan. Oh, Sarah Logan was the one that I had to add for. And Dexter Loomis. Who am I missing?
I mean, off the top of my head, I had no idea.
Yeah, but that's
Emma.
Emma. Emma. Yeah. Oh, forgot about Emma. Okay.
And if it's 17, it's probably JBL because I guess his contract ran out or something. I don't think he was with the company.
No. We're not counting JBL. We never count JBL.
That would have to be it because there's nobody else in the company that was released.
There's probably somebody that we're just like, oh yeah, duh, but just completely forgetting.
It's JBL. You're just tripping.
Hey, just real quick shout out because JBL. You guys know I'm a big fucking Tozawa fan. I love Tozawa, and him and Corbin had a really good match on Monday night.
Yes.
It looks like, according to his shtick, that Akira might be getting rid of the ninja gimmick and whatever. I just hope he keeps wrestling, and I hope they give him, like, even if it's kind of like an Ali type thing where, like, every now and then he gets on and puts on banger matches, but really like Tozawa, and I was really glad to see them have a good match on Monday.
Was Dakota Kai's contract up? Because it might, or not Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, because it might have been her. Did she let that run out?
She was still signed. She signed an extension.
That would have been a mega story, dude. She was the biggest female in NXT for what?
Well, there was things they were talking about just letting her fucking go. So I thought, well, it was Vince. He's an idiot, so I thought he did.
No, but it hadn't happened yet.
Vince McMahon is not an idiot. We owe a lot to Vincent Kennedy McMahon. That is why we're talking on this thing, because of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. You ungrateful little fuck.
That's why 90% of us now know the difference between a lawyer and a paralegal.
It don't matter. Anyway, what are we talking?
Well, actually, I do
WWE stuff.
I want to talk because we did do an Extreme Rules episode that I completely forgot about. It was just me and Junior. And
surprised me.
Yeah, I know. It was so long ago, But
I'm sorry. They're really quick. They blend together.
yeah. We obviously just phoned that one in. But
definitely, I guess.
But I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed in the Bray comeback. I had different expectations for it, but I am kind of digging this like slow burn sort of psychological story he's telling. It is much different than the Firefly Funhouse like window into his brain kind of thing. Now it's a little bit more like, he's beating up random UPS guys in the back, the headbutt on Max Dupree. I'm sorry, LA Knight. I'm sorry, Eli Drake. That was cool, but I like the slow burn. But I really want to know where they're going with this whole Uncle Howdy thing. And I don't necessarily know if the Wyatt Six actually means and like that there's going to be 6 people in this faction. Wyatt Six just might be the Twitter handle that he could get verified.
Well, it's not that, everything Bray does is calculated. So that's why, like you said, the slow burn, everybody wants to get to that end point, but just enjoy it, man. Like the fact that he's back and he's doing this thing and everything he does is intrigue. You don't know. You know what I mean? And then now again, the rumors of having apparently the rumors of him trying to get Rowan back and Bo Dallas back and this and that, which is great. That's what people want to see. I want to see, a lot of people would like to see Bo Dallas do something with him, with his brother. Like they've never acknowledged that on-screen relationship. And now, in a world where you acknowledge all these on-screen. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I like the rumor that that Uncle Howdy's actually Barry Windham.
Oh, really? I like how like they showed like a little like if you look at Uncle Howdy's thing, there was like a sliver of black hair and everybody's like it's Bo Dallas. Look, it was a
Bo Dallas is the only person with greasy long hair. It could be Roman Reigns.
I'll tell you what, if it's Barry Windham, like all the best and luck. I got no problem with Barry Windham, but I seen Barry Windham like 2 years ago, like live in front of me in person, and he was in rough shape. Yeah. So I'm hoping health-wise Barry's okay, but I highly, highly doubt that.
But my point was I like how everyone is just, first of all, the QR codes with the White Rabbit thing was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was intrigue, and then until they eventually had to just run with it. You know what I mean? Because they eventually got so much talk about, and then they had to push in your face. But that's all it's about, man. Just creating intrigue, and you have no idea where it's going to go. Because nothing. When Bray came back, I'd give him 3 months. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't wrestle until the Rumble. You know what I mean?
And don't be disappointed if it's not Alexa Bliss and it's Liv Morgan. Don't be disappointed, like it was saying that everybody speculate. Don't be disappointed if it's not Liv Morgan and it's maybe it's somebody from NXT that they want to put in there.
I kind of would rather it be people we haven't seen. You know what I mean? Like you can do the story because you Wyatt's logo keeps popping up every time Bliss wrestles. Fuck with her. Keep doing that. Like he didn't forget. I love that whole entire thing. Don't have her join him back. Just it's like I know what you did, bitch. Like I love that. That's like fantastic. Yeah. And like, but bring people like I would love to see Bo, Rowan. Like okay, yeah, we've seen Rowan with the Wyatt family, but like if people we haven't seen recently. And bring people up, like make it Grayson Waller, bring Joe Gacy. I know they're doing their own things, but that type idea, shit, just bring Schism up, and then that's the Wyatt Six, like shit like that.
I don't care if he puts freaking Braun Breaker in his faction. I just want stuff. Yeah, like I like the idea that it could literally be anyone on that roster except maybe Orton. That's like the one person we can exclude.
No, he was the rabbit. He's not injured. He's just in the suits.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say this.
Here's a skull.
Going to keep the win. If they're going to keep it with somebody here, I think I'd rather have it be Alexa because like she's felt directionless since he left. Even with her coming back, like, and then doing the Lily rehab, and then whatever. Like since then, she just feels off. Liv Morgan's cool and all, but like. I just don't. It's unfortunate how kind of the fans turned on her after she won the belt, because I mean I don't buy her as like this like extreme like demented crazy chick. Again,
that's fine.
But she was great in the underdog role. So we'll see how it goes. But I will say this one thing with that promo or that little interaction with him and LA Knight on SmackDown last week was wonderful, because even Knight's character. Like not backing down, like looking at this guy like he's just some sort of fucking weirdo. That was great. Him looking at the screen. Oh, it's not this guy's time. It's mine. And like even with Bray stepping up and LA Knight looking at him like, who the hell is this guy? Like I'm not scared of this guy. I thought that was really cool on Knight's part because obviously I'm a big LA Knight fan. So
I'm glad
goes on with that.
I'm glad that they went back to LA Knight and they stopped that stupid garbage with him.
Well, I will say this. Maximum Male Models does have a little YouTube thing where they do some YouTube shorts with they're only like 4 minutes long. They're actually really funny. I think they did.
They posted one today about their tanning routine.
Yeah, they're pretty good, man.
It was low key hilarious.
Look, I'll tell you what. People need to put some respect on Massey's name, dude. That guy's played so many different roles and played them pretty damn well. You got this. You had the Retribution. And then even when he was on commentary for a while, but like for that dude to do all these different roles and you never seen him once in NXT, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I
like what they did with those two, and having it be Maxine's better.
yeah.
But I didn't like Night with him. Like,
No, I agree. No, because I love, LA Knight was fine without him.
That's the only thing I had a problem with, was the fact that he was the reason they were there, not that they were a thing. Because I love
Yeah. And then kudos to the creative for pulling him out of that, but still connecting it and making it look legit. Because that's been the issue for how many years now, where like they just treat wrestling fans like they're stupid, and they do these hard resets without explaining things. So it was nice to see the continuity between the two.
See Vince.
I do like, first of all, their YouTube stuff. Like, it's been a long time since we've had Breezango entertaining us with little backstage shorts. And we haven't had anything, and it's not that good, but it's something, and it was something that's been kind of missing from WWE, is the off-screen kind of funny, little bits, the humor, like, the whole Fashion Files, like they had their own series of YouTube shorts and stuff,
Fashion Files were great.
But
I'm just glad Up Up Down Down picked up a talent like Tyler Breeze.
Is he back?
He's back on there.
I thought I had heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, moment of silence for G4.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, dude.
You weren't missing anything. First of all, it's officially like the channel's no longer functional even now, like it's already gone. But after they closed down, and I'm only talking about this because it's technically wrestling related now.
Technically,
after they closed down, they were showing a lot of From the Vault stuff, and they were showing a lot of the old Attack of the Show back when it was Kevin Pereira and Olivia Munn.
Yes.
And it reminded me, like, now I understand why this failed, because that era of G4 was so much better. They should have kept it on YouTube and just streamed and done their shows on YouTube, and they'd still be fine.
It is wild to me that how big video games are that you can't have a channel dedicated to it.
Because you have Twitch and YouTube. You don't.
Yeah, but I mean, with all these, you can go out here and film these tournaments and all these different conventions they have every damn weekend, and you can do your update shows and this and that, and then you still have the library, like the old shit you said. Like, you could definitely do something, but
but these kids today don't watch TV. That's
and I get that, but if you go out and if you get some decent, I don't watch Twitch and YouTube. I think watching people play video games is crazy to me. But
depends on what it is.
Some of those stuff on the TV schedule, or whatever. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk wrestling.
I could have kept going. I had a whole thing about this.
Go for it. Go ahead. You let it out and go.
I'll say real quick, the only problem is if you look at like how big it is, Twitch has exclusivity rights to certain tournaments. ESPN has exclusivity rights to certain like big titles like Counter-Strike, League. If they're streaming that on TV, so you can't really go the pro route. And then I don't need G4 for news because I have IGN that breaks everything every 2 seconds. Like, that's the problem. Like, so that's why they can't do it, because there's no room for them.
And the Austin Creed effect was only going to carry them so far.
And it did until it ran out. And he had to go back to do his actual job.
Once his foot healed, it was all over.
I just want to throw this out here for 10 seconds while we're talking about shows with wrestlers or whatever. I know you're probably not going to watch it. It's very entertaining so far, only 4 episodes. But Lana's on The Surreal Life on VH1. And it's actually pretty funny. They got a really good crew. Dennis Rodman's on it, Frankie Muniz, some other people. But Lana's been really funny on it. So
Malcolm?
If you guys are ever bored one night and want to throw in the old DVR, because it's not bad. It's actually pretty good.
Oh, by the way, and this will be the last, probably not, but this will be the last thing I'm purposely going to mention. They Letterkenny had their season 11 trailer hit today, and at the end it said Christmas, and I was like, "Yay!"
Well,
I'm caught up. I'm caught up on Letterkenny. I'm caught up on Shoresy, and I'm just waiting for the next bit.
They always come back around Christmas.
Yeah. Well, all right.
Get with the program, old man. Jesus.
Hey, you didn't give me your Hulu password till like a month ago, so
you could have guessed it. You did guess it.
I know I did. I just didn't try. That's how I guess your Amazon password too.
Hard.
So anyways, I'm working on Kevin's. The one Amazon password I need to get is Corey's because I'm really gonna put some like questionable stuff on his wish list. So we got Survivor Series coming up.
Can't wait.
Hold on. What was the original War Games? Was it 4v4?
No. Ask that question again, but ask it correct.
The original War. I did.
What was the original War Games?
Oh yeah. Because the original War Games was just War Games presented by
Actually, the original one was like, the original I can't do a Dusty impression.
Right.
The original War Games were 3 rings.
Okay.
The cage had a lid on it, so you
Right.
couldn't get out. Although I'm okay with the lid being off because then you can have people like, you can have like Ciampa.
Yeah.
It was weird because the suplexes and power bombs and stuff, they would like hit the top of the cage. It was kind of weird.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's that. But I was, first of all, so you I don't know what they're gonna do now because I think the original 5th member going up against the bloodline was supposed to be Owens, but he's reportedly injured. So
that's easy enough. You can throw. They've pissed off.
But that was going to be the start of the bloodline turning on Sammy. So it's a double-edged sword. One, I don't get to see Kevin Owens, and anytime Kevin Owens is not on television is a disservice to the human race. However, it also extends the Sammy bloodline story, which is the best thing in wrestling right now.
They did have to do 5v5 because of that. Never mind. Because I was upset about the 5v5 because I was like, I like the 4v4.
Well,
they
to
did
put the 5v5 too adds to the Survivor Series part probably too.
Right.
Well, then make it elimination.
How do you do elimination in a War Games match though? It's just
no elimination. You can start until all 10 are in, and then you can.
Yeah, it'd be dumb. Because you can't eliminate. If you can't eliminate with 10 people in the ring, like that's tough. That'd be too.
I want Survivor Series just normal matches.
So the other one.
Look at you! They give you something new. You son of a bitch.
I'm gonna mute you both in a sec.
Right.
The other. Don't make me come back there. I will pull this car over. But I got to give a shout out to our one and only regular viewer. She texted me with. I got a sneaky suspicion the 5th member on Bianca's team is going to be Becky. And
no.
I like where her head's at, and considering they're starting to run out of people, because that would be meaningful because it was originally supposed to be Candice. She got hurt.
And I know Candice was hurt.
Yeah, that's the only reason it's not Candice and why she hasn't been involved in the whole Bianca.
I thought it was always going to be Becky. I'm not going to lie. My bad.
It would not surprise me, but I had completely forgotten about Becky.
No, I thought that's who it was. Like, as soon as I saw there was 5 people, I was like, oh, they just added this for Becky. That's literally what I thought. So we're on the same wavelength out there.
Charlotte's a possibility too.
No, it's fine. We need talent. I'm sorry. I had to. He's here. It was the first time he was here. It's the first time he's here. I had to.
Okay, that's an empty statement, bro. There ain't a single thing in the world to back that statement up. So who then would be the 5th for with damage control?
Sorry, I had to unmute because I muted both of us.
Who would be the 5th with damage control then? Because I thought it was all up for Candice, but if Candice is hurt, I don't know. I mean, they could just throw like Dana Brooke or something in there. Or wait, no, they put Rhea Ripley in, didn't they?
Rhea's on the heel side. Sorry, I've been trying to unmute him and he just won't unmute.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
It kept coming up and it kept saying, "Do you want to stay muted?" I'm like, "Yeah, fuck him."
Yeah, because first of all, okay, I want to take a step back. and talk about the fact that Sarah Logan's back, and not only that, but she is just absolutely embracing being Senua from Hellblade.
Yeah, right.
Like, that was great. First of all, Hellblade. If you haven't played Hellblade, that game is awesome. But yeah, that was cool. It was a little under, like, the end of it. I was kind of like, okay, it's a typical heel thing. But first of all, the crowds lately at WWE shows have been utter garbage the last few weeks. That crowd in Philly last week was terrible. And I get they were using the excuse that they had just lost the World Series. And I'm like, that's never stopped Philly from being loud.
Wasn't that Wilkes-Barre?
That would have been the opposite.
It might have been Spain. But it was still that area. But the crowds have been just dead lately. But Sarah Logan got a pop. And I was like,
she's cool. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we used to sing the praises of Sarah Logan being the most underrated woman on the roster for years. So, you go back to early TBOD, we were talking about Sarah Logan should get the shot, and all this stuff.
Because it was like, yeah, I understand that, like, Ruby Riot's the leader, but God, is Sarah Logan talented?
Well, didn't Sarah Logan? I believe she made it to the Final Four of a Rumble one time, didn't she?
Yes.
That was her push.
Yeah, that's where it was like getting close, and then people.
Because like her thing was awesome. Because it was just basically in a women's faction she was muscle, and that's always cool when you have somebody like that. Like I did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool with Logan. You notice how though got like a lot of, because the female roster obviously being so deep in stats, you got a lot of females in the factions now.
Yeah.
With Phantasma, you got Rhea with Judgment Day. It's just kind of interesting.
I do like it a lot. And obviously OC needed somebody, so a good time for a return. Like I like it. I do like what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't
Mia Yim got zero reaction though, and that sucked.
The only person that would have been a legit Bullet Club member is an ex-wife of one of them, so that wouldn't have worked.
Yeah, fair.
I was gonna say, but yeah, dude, I was upset that Mia Yim came out and everybody was like, "Oh, okay." Like,
everyone was like, "Oh yeah."
She has a kendo stick. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the kendo stick got a bigger pop than Mia did, and it sucks because like I'm not the world's biggest like Mia Yim like shouter. Like I have absolutely nothing against her. She just historically hasn't like grabbed my attention because she never really got going. Nothing really happened to really get me super invested yet, because I forget who she was feuding with for the women's title, but it was like in NXT. But it was like, she's not taking the belt off.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, I don't either. But I remember it was like, there's no way she's losing the belt. And then it might have been Baszler. I think it was Baszler. And I'm like, there's no way she beats Baszler. So you had nothing to grasp onto. And then when she finally gets called up to the main roster, she gets stuck in Retribution.
And that's what killed her, honestly, because she was like, she like thrive. Like from what I've seen, even like I swear to God, she thrives in those like vicious matches.
Yeah. Oh, she's great. But
like that's why, like she was going against Baszler. I was like, there's something to this, but I don't know if she ever just never took to the WWE like system or wasn't allowed to. I don't know.
She was stuck in Retribution. That's it.
Even before that.
But hopefully she could kind of reset the narrative. Go ahead.
I think she was in one of the War Games, wasn't she?
Yes, and was fun.
Yeah, so I don't know.
There is with this War Games things too, because of being a Triple H person and whatever. There is rumors of Tegan Knox coming.
I hope so much, dude.
As the fifth, because it makes sense. It obviously makes sense with the Dakota Kai stuff.
Yeah, ever since people started coming back, I'm like, where is she? Where is she? Where is she?
Yes.
And I've personally never been much of a Tegan Knox person. I
have.
She didn't really do much for me in NXT. Again, nothing wrong with her. Similar to what you said to Mia. But the main thing I remember, I was going to say the main match I remember was her and Dakota Kai in the cage, and then Raquel Gonzalez like pinned her across the cage with the cage door when she was trying to escape. I thought that was really badass, but that was more of a Raquel thing.
Yeah, but my thing with my thing with Tegan Knox is like, I remember her, like, first time I ever saw her was she was still wrestling as Nixon Newell in WCPW, and she was feuding with B Priestley before B, like, that was when B was just getting her name out there too.
I completely forgot.
And those matches were great. What's that?
I forgot all of Tegan's friends are here except for Tony.
Literally,
everybody. Dakota, B, and yeah.
But my issue with Tegan is, can she stay healthy longer than a minute and a half? Because she just constantly blows out her knees, and it just, anytime she starts getting momentum, especially the most recent time, she was really starting to get some momentum going. And then they called her up, and she was stuck with Shotzi. But
you know what they do?
Huh?
They need to ban any top rope move from her, because that's what it is.
No, you don't even have to do that. Just put like 6 more layers of tape on her knee so that it doesn't bend.
But no, like, she was fine. I guess she was hurt right as she got released, but it wasn't anything serious from what I heard. It was something like, it was just basically, she's torn her ACL 5 times, so it was soreness.
Yeah.
Like, and that's
let's talk about, there's a couple of weird little anomalies, and you can see Triple H is trying to get as many people kind of going.
Real quick.
Shotzi's one. Go ahead.
Real quick, Baba. I didn't know if you were going to bounce off the females for this one real quick. I just want to say, I don't think Becky Lynch is going to be a part of it. I feel like down the road, and you can see the seeds planted, because you know how WWE kind of missed their opportunity on this, and now I think they might have to do it. But how they finally showed Shayna and Ronda together as part of that duo. I think the prime, like, big match we got off of that, they'll probably end up doing like some sort of tag match with Ronda and Shayna versus Becky and Charlotte when they return. Because Becky and Charlotte always have the heat with Ronda. So they'll do the horsewoman thing, but again, it's going to be half-assed. I got a feeling that
we'll get 4 horsewomen, just not the way we thought.
No,
exactly.
I'm 100% down for that too. I don't, and they don't even need to put the women's tag titles in there. Like, you don't have to get that in. You can just have that match, because just the name value of those 3, and then adding shit, it's just gonna be insane. That match, you can main event that at a Mania. Like, I know they're not going to, but you easily could. Night 2, night 1, 100%.
If Charlotte will probably come back, they'll probably be feuding with Ronda, and everybody will be all pissed off. Oh, Charlotte gets all the opportunity. Yeah, whatever. She won't win the title, but then eventually, like, Becky will come in somehow to, like, even out the odds or whatever. Because, I mean, making Shayna Baszler look like the badass she was.
I was going to say, if Charlotte comes back and is screwed over because Shayna's with Ronda, and that's how you bring Becky into it, I'm so down. Like, not that,
well, and that's what I'm saying, because people want to see Becky, so that'll bring pop and intrigue back.
I mean, I wouldn't mind Charlotte just coming back and beating Ronda's ass. I don't like Ronda anymore. Sorry.
You never really did.
No, I didn't.
That's a good thing, bro. She don't want you to like her.
I know she doesn't. But it was just, like, this is the one time that, like, if I see Charlotte, I will get hyped as hell, because hopefully there's a chance she wins.
She will.
Last thing I really want to talk about is the Miz ruins everything theory.
Bro,
that I just came up with.
The Miz.
I was super excited for Johnny Gargano. I was super excited for Dexter Lumis. But because what?
There's no way you were excited for Lumis.
Oh, when he came back, when he first made his appearance, I was like, Dexter Lumis, that's great. I love Dexter Lumis. Like, he's just weird. He is the perfect amount of mid-card weird.
So I think the thing with this kind of falling flat, and again, this is just me speculating. I don't know this for fact, but I'm assuming this because I could parallel it to another wrestler. But like Karrion Kross right now, he's still been working independent shows. He's been working the dates that he had set before re-signing with WWE. He's fulfilling those obligations. I'm almost curious if Lumis is doing the same thing. Because, like, since Kross came back, he's had, 4 matches or whatever. 3 of them with Drew. I'm almost wondering if Loomis is doing the same thing because with the slow burn thing, so maybe that kind of extends the story a little bit. But I don't buy into the whole Miz ruins everything. I actually like the angle. I think it's funny. I think it like actually makes sense. It's a little different, like him hiring the celebrity stalker thing. You know, the kind of throwing a little shade at like the whole like that Jussie Smollett dude or whatever. That like
I just think it's gone on
like,
too long.
Well, and again, now you're getting a finish because they announced that they're going to do the match either next week or 2 weeks or whatever. I don't know if they're doing it at Survivor Series or not, but
Probably not.
Oh,
moving
on. One other thing, because we're starting to run low on time. I think since we gave a moment of silence, once we'll do it again for the 24/7 title this time.
No, I don't care about that whatsoever.
First of all,
you know what? I'm also glad that she missed the trash can because that thing was such garbage.
by the way, so
it was fun. It had its
he
misses the trash can, and then immediately Big Damo is on Twitter going, I could have told you she sucks at basketball.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, way to throw your wife under the bus, but okay.
What
And,
did you
and
say?
then she actually addressed it, saying that this is why the WNBA never called me back. So,
Yeah. All right. So, hey, I know this is something we got to address. We're running a little short on time. It's fucking Austin Theory.
I'm glad they finally got the Money in the Bank off of him because now they can actually let his character grow.
But
in one night, they completely flipped that fucking script. And it was incredible that one night. Junior, what were you going to say? Because you seemed a little disappointed when I said the name.
No, because I didn't want it to be on the U.S. title. I've been screaming that they should have been able to do that forever. And it is stated that it was always a world title. And now they're just by the way. Because Otis should have cashed in with Tucker at that point. Like, if we're just fucking making shit up.
Well, it's never been specific that it had to be for a world title, but the theory has always been, why would you be stupid enough to cash in on something other than the world title?
There was many times that mid-carders won it, and they just lost their title. Well, this is my surefire way to win it back. Like, there were stories you could have done.
But the way Theory explained it on Monday was perfect.
Yeah.
It's untouchable.
Yeah, because Roman's never
that is perfect. That's perfect kayfabe storytelling. That it's always 5-on-1. He's always got to, every time he goes out there, there's always interference, whether it's Brock, Lashley.
Because he tried. He tried several times.
He absolutely explained it perfectly. You know what I mean? So like he's like, this is what I'm going to do. And now that he lost it and he's growing, like you said, showed the viciousness. Now it's like I'm tired of the future. I'm doing the now thing. Like
I just like the idea of that like he was screwed either way because he either cashes in on Roman and loses or cashes in on Seth and loses because those are two big boys that you can't really fuck with.
Well, he had Seth beat. Seth was done, and then Lashley pulled him out and fucked him up. Like his passion worked, dude. It worked, but Lashley had a beat.
Would have rolled him up. He was
the point that I think, and I was talking with Wifeadoom about this is that the Money in the Bank is either a blessing or a curse, and it varies depending on who it is. You can either use it like Dolph, him having the Money in the Bank for as long as he did, telling that story of and they really leaned into he could cash in at any point kind of thing. And then sometimes if you're not far enough along, because they put that like you barely knew who Austin Theory was and he had the Money in the Bank. And so you limit what you can do with certain characters, certain personalities, because their entire gimmick now is being Money in the Bank. So it's not like somebody like Orton. Orton had been around for years. He wins Money in the Bank. He could have carried that briefcase around for a year, and it did not define who he was.
Yeah.
Whereas that was the problem with Theory, is that briefcase defined his entire character, like it or not, and that was they had to get it off of him.
Same with the Miz. Miz is both times Miz had it. I know one was weird because Otis, they did an audible, but Both times Miz had it, it was just, I'm Miz, I have this briefcase.
You know,
Yeah, and again, and that's been the thing for years is the Money in the Bank running stale. So again, they finally did something different with it. I mean, people didn't like it at all, and they want to trash it or whatever. But like in wrestling, you can't judge something until you see what the outcome is. But, although the outcome so far has been nice with this, it really has.
Because like Damian Sandow, his was great. I loved when he had the briefcase. He had the leather version. Everything was great.
Yeah.
But or then the other thing, as much as I like Baron Corbin normally, like when he had the briefcase, it was like it's not really advancing
faster than he did. He should have done kind of what like Dean and them, and not maybe the night of, but he should have done that way faster.
Yeah,
his character didn't fit holding in and trying. His character was, I'm just gonna do this and beat your ass.
All right, so that's it for us. We've got the picks and stuff are going to be at the end of the video with the I don't know, one of these days I'll change the music up, but that is not going to be this time. So yeah, till next time, I guess, till whenever the next premium live event is. I've been Big Papa Grump. That's been Junior.
A-Town down.
So you mean next week because Survivor Series?
No, we're not gonna do that. It's too close to Thanksgiving.
Well, it would be Thanksgiving if we did it Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll think about it. All right, give your outro.
Oh yeah, top is in around.